Hi everyone, my name is Jenny and I'm back today to do another video. So as you can see from the title of this video, this is going to be a reading vlog. I was just talking for several minutes and I was not recording, so we're off to a great start in terms of this reading vlog already. But it is Saturday, October 10th right now, and I have the next 4 days off, including today, off from work because of the holiday. It is formally Columbus Day, and so it's a paid US holiday, but most people now recognize it as Indigenous Peoples Day. So I have that day off from work that was in my contract, and then I advocated for having Tuesday off as well because the kids have the day off from school, and it would have been a full day from 8 to 5, and I was just like, I have a lot of work on my grad school applications I need to do. Sorry, I can't work, so Tuesday's gonna be an unpaid day off for me, which is quite nice. So I have a lot of things, as I just said, related to my grad school applications that I'm hoping to work on this weekend, primarily finishing out the updating of my resume so it's kind of ready for my applications, as well as working on my personal statement. I'm hoping to have a full draft done by Monday afternoon so I can send that to some of my friends who agreed to peer review it for me, and then also my recommenders because they wanted to see where my head is at on all of that. So that's gonna be my primary focus tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. But I do have today and Tuesday off as well, but it'll be really nice to have 2 chill days where I can kind of rejuvenate, recuperate from the working 40 hours with 5 pretty wild children, but then also have 2 days that I have a lot of solid work time in. So as I said, I think several times now, today is Saturday, so I'm just taking it very chill today. It's already 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's 1:30 actually, so I've just been reading my books, so I'll update you about those in just a minute. And then tomorrow and Monday, as I said, I'm gonna kind of get fully dressed, ready to focus and work on my personal statement. I think tomorrow is gonna be the focus of finalizing the edits to my resume and then writing about my previous experiences and how that relates to what I'm hoping to get out of my master's program. And then Monday is going to be working on my goals coming out of the master's program and where do I see myself in this career path, etc. And then also kind of finalizing, pulling those 2 pieces together to kind of make a 2-page personal statement. So I think I might take you through some of that stuff if it's at all interesting. If it's very boring, I probably will not include it in this video, but that's kind of the update on that. And then I guess I should also update you on what books I'm reading. I was just reading before I turned my camera on Leave the World Behind by Ruben Alam. I have 40 minutes left of this one on my Kindle, and this was an early copy that I received through NetGalley that came out this past Tuesday, so I've been meaning to finish it since it is now out. And yeah, I have 49 minutes left in it, and it's fine. I'm not going to go too much in depth, I think, in this reading vlog about my thoughts on the books I'm reading because I'm going to do a mid-month wrap-up next weekend, theoretically. So I don't want to talk too much about the books because I'll be talking about them next week. But yeah, definitely going to finish that one right now as soon as I turn the camera off. And then also on my Kindle, I'm reading The Fragile Earth, which I've talked about several times, and I finally made some progress on this one. I started it, I think, maybe back at the end of July or the beginning of August. I can't remember when I started this book, thinking oh, I'll get ahead on it because I knew it was really long and that the chapters or essays were going to be really long in this anthology, so I wanted to dedicate that extra time. And then I totally squandered all of it and have basically read the vast majority of it in the last week or so. But it is very interesting. It is a little depressing, obviously, and so it's kind of hard to read about climate change when everything else in the world is also falling apart. So that's fun. But there are some essays in here that I really enjoy, and I'm about to get into the section, I think, about kind of climate change mitigation, which should be thought-provoking. And I will also say I'm not the hugest fan of Bill McKibben. He falls a little more on kind of the environmental extremism, kind of eco-terrorism almost, Extinction Rebellion type of environmental activism. On that scale is where I kind of situate him more within the broader scheme of environmental activists, which is not particularly my cup of tea. I'm not super into that realm of environmental activism, and I'm not quite sure it's the most effective way to go about environmental activism. So I'm not the biggest Bill McKibben fan. I mean, I think he is a very strong voice in the environmentalism movement. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him, and he obviously is very heavily featured in this anthology because he was kind of the leader of writing about climate change and global warming for the New Yorker starting all the way in like the 80s. So, and then we have Elizabeth Colbert, who I've read The Sixth Extinction, and pretty much every essay that's included in here is basically a chapter in The Sixth Extinction. So if you've read The Sixth Extinction, which is a phenomenal book, would highly, highly recommend that one, then I don't know if her essays in here are particularly interesting or useful. But if you've not, maybe these essays would be good. But everyone else's essays are very thought-provoking. It's just those two are kind of the primary focus of this anthology in some ways, and they're the two that I'm most familiar with their work previously. So that's kind of my thoughts on that, but I'm going to read a couple more of the essays today probably. Hopefully finish it within the next couple days because I don't want to really be reading it anymore. I'm ready to be done with it. And then I also have two physical books, the first of which is Taurus by Carolina de Robertis, and I'm loving this one. I'm about like 40, almost halfway through, and I think it's phenomenal. I'm so sad it was in the booktube prize this year and it got booted during the octafinals, which I'm very fascinated about because I looked in that round, you know, I looked at the rankings, and the rankings for this round, which had also one of my favorite books that I know is not loved by a lot of people have problems with it, which was Normal People by Sally Rooney, were both booted. And I was like, if I was judging this, like, I would not have picked the 3 books that made it through personally, because the other one is The Old Drift by Namala Serpell, which I've not read, but I'm very excited about and heard amazing things. So it's just intriguing to me the way that the early rounds of the booktube prize, I think, very much shape how the later rounds go, which it's hard to, obviously, like, some books have to leave, but since the judging pools are so small for the octafinals, I do think they're sometimes more subjective than the later rounds often are. So yeah, this one I think is so good. It's a historical fiction, literary fiction novel set in the 1970s in Uruguay, and the parallels between the dictatorship happening in Uruguay at this time. That was a military coup. I actually don't know that much about the history of South American politics more generally, but specifically in Uruguay. But I do know that there was a dictatorship in the 70s that I believe was overthrown in like the 80s or 90s. I'm probably going to learn in this book. But the kind of way that it's discussed and the rules and the uncertainty and the fear, you know, it's just hitting close to home. So, you know, that's fun for sure, about reading about totalitarian dictatorship and how similar it is to America. So that's fun. And then the other one I've literally read maybe 10-15 pages of is Out of Darkness Shining Light by Patina Gappa, which is, as you can see, very, very little. But I am reading this one for my African Women Writers Project. Really enjoyed it. The first 10-15 pages, I was so interested. I think I started it probably on Monday or Tuesday. And since then, I just have been focusing on trying to finish The Fragile Earth and reading Taurus. So I just have not been able to kind of dig into this one more, but this, as I talked about in my October TBR talk, is another literary historical fiction novel that is following the removal of Dr. David Livingstone's body out of southern Africa by the people living in, you know, the indigenous people that were assistants in his kind of explorations of southern Africa. He was obviously very well beloved by them, so it's a very interesting look at kind of their relationship and colonialism. So yeah, I'm intrigued about this one for sure. Definitely will be digging into this one later at some point, hopefully this weekend. So yeah, those are kind of all my plans. Oh, and then I also forgot to tell you that on Tuesday, my parents and I are going somewhere to a state park here in Georgia to see some nice fall foliage. I never know how to say that word correctly. And hopefully, it is like a little early for Georgia foliage, but if we go up to like northern Georgia, the mountains, then there should definitely be some good fall colors. And we're probably going to do some hiking, maybe see a waterfall. Hopefully there won't be other people around because that would be unfortunate, you know, because of COVID-19. So yeah, those are kind of my plans. I'm gonna keep reading right now, and I'll probably check in with you maybe later today. We're doing a game night also with some family friends because it's my dad's birthday on Thursday. So that's kind of it for right now. I'll check in with you in a little bit. Hi everyone. So it is now Sunday afternoon / evening. It does look like I'm sitting in the exact same place as I was when I checked in yesterday morning, and that's because I am. I always sit here all the time. So I wanted to kind of update you on things that have happened since yesterday morning when I last checked in. I did pretty much chill all day yesterday, as I said I was going to. And then today has been surprisingly productive. I had a conversation with my father this morning about urbanization and climate change because of The Fragile Earth, which I was reading this morning and also read some of yesterday. And he is also very into economics, climate change, understanding the greater geopolitical scheme of the world is something he likes to read about. So we talked about that for quite a long time, and that actually helped me quite a bit in focusing some of my discussion in my personal statement for grad school. So I actually got like a full draft of it done today, which was really nice. Definitely something that I was hoping to get done today and tomorrow. And now I think tomorrow I will focus more on making it a second draft that is a bit more kind of cohesive and just better aligns with what I want to convey to programs. So that's all good. Now, as I said, it's the evening time. It is sometime. Mom, what time is it?
It is 6:12.
So I'm gonna do some reading before dinner. We made this slow cooker red wine ragu. So I actually have my little red wine since it's 6 o'clock. I'm sitting here with my mom. She's over there. You can't see her, but she will be able to hear me say all this stuff twice because she'll then watch my vlog where I talk about this. She's laughing silently to herself about that. So that all will be good. I meant to film some like b-roll of us making it, and then it was very chaotic when we were making it because it was also time to do yoga with my little sister virtually. So I just totally forgot. It's from, we just call her Tegan, but her official blog name is Half Baked Harvest. She's very well known, I think, among the like food influencers of Instagram and social media, and I love her food, would highly recommend it. Have both of her cookbooks, and I swear by her. If you eat meat and dairy, she is definitely someone to check out because her recipes are so delicious. I don't think we've found a bad one yet, and we've tried like probably 50 of her recipes by now, and they're really good and they're really easy to make, like easy enough to even make them like a weeknight when you are tired. So that's all good. Oh, and I also finished Leave the World Behind yesterday. I enjoyed it. I'm going to talk about it more, as I said, in my mid-month wrap-up next weekend. And I think right now I'm going to read the rest of The Fragile Earth. I only have one essay left and then the afterward, so that's exciting. Then, let's see, Taurus, I read about like 20-30 pages left. I read about 20 or 30 pages last night, and I'm still enjoying this one. Also read about 20 or 30 pages of Out of Darkness Shining Light. It doesn't have its dust jacket on anymore. And I'm also enjoying this one quite a lot. It reads very quickly, which is nice, although it'd be a good book to read in a classroom setting, which obviously I'm not in a classroom, so that's fun. But it has a whole like glossary and stuff, which is very helpful. Some of the words I am familiar with because a lot of the words are Swahili, and I do know some Swahili, obviously. I knew more when I was in Tanzania, and I've forgotten most of it, but like Mzungu is a word you never forget, which for those of you that don't know any Swahili means white people. So there are some words that I'm like familiar with, so that's making the kind of glossaried words read a little more quickly. But yeah, so I think that's all I'm gonna update you on. I will hopefully update you more regularly tomorrow, but also who's to say? Hi everyone, it is Monday afternoon. It's about 4:30 now. As you can see, I just got out of the shower because my little sister and I had just finished yoga earlier. And today's been another good, productive day, I would say. I worked some more on my personal statement, and I'm going to be working on my resume later. And I just took a shower, as I said, and in the shower, as often happens, I feel like I had a bunch of different things I was thinking about because the shower is such a great place to think about stuff. And so my mind is kind of, thinking about all of those things, which are good. Some of which I was like, oh, I'll tell the blog about that. And now I honestly don't even remember what exactly I was going to tell you. So yeah, one was an idea, which is that I think everyone should always have a 3-day weekend, because having 3 days off, I mean, it's even nicer because I get tomorrow off as well, but having 3 days off is just so nice. Like, because you can have one day that's just like totally lays about, do nothing, but then you can have 2 full days of like doing really productive stuff. So yeah, that's my new proposal for the world, is to have a 3-day weekend and 4-day work week. We could even do like 4 10-hour days, since I've done 10-hour days in the past, and while they suck, they're not completely awful. Honestly, you just kind of get used to it. Like right now I'm working, my schedule is like 2 6-hour days and 3 9-hour days, which is a lot. It's definitely more than 40 hours, I do believe, but the 9-hour days, they're like really not bad. You just get really tired, but that's why you need the 3-day weekend. So that's my big proposal that I came up with in the shower. The other thing I was thinking about was something about, oh, it was also just like working a job that you know is temporary is also extra exhausting, which is also why you should have 3-day weekends. So yeah, 3-day weekends were a big vibe during my shower thoughts today. But I also, completely unrelated to me taking a shower, lol, I finished Taurus by Carolina de Robertis earlier today. Loved it, gave it 5 stars, would highly recommend. We'll talk about this one later. And I also finished The Fragile Earth yesterday, which I talked a little bit about in my update, and it was good. I gave it 4 stars, and I will also talk about that one more in my mid-month wrap up. But then also I think I'm gonna do a whole separate video in kind of preparation for Nonfiction November about like climate change nonfiction that I recommend, and also that some that I'm like interested in reading that I've not already read. So that's gonna be a video coming out in the nearish future. And then right now I'm gonna take a little break and make some baked apple cider donuts, which will be really good. They're from the New York Times Cooking, which is unfortunate that, you know, the New York Times is really obsessed with having a paywall. I mean, obviously I understand, and I do want to support journalism, but it's also annoying that they're so paywall focused. But anyway, I do subscribe to the New York Times Cooking, and I really like it. And they have this great baked apple cider donut recipe that looks delicious, so we're gonna try those. They're gonna be muffins though, not donuts. So I think I'm gonna take you along for a bit of that. Then I'm gonna work some more on my resume and send that out to my recommenders so they can kind of know what I've been up to, which, you know, it's not a whole lot, but they will at least have that information. And work some more on my personal statement, I think, and how to like articulate my goals for the program, and also figure out what those goals kind of are a bit more for that whole situation. And then I think this evening I'm gonna try to read like 30-40 more pages of Out of Darkness Shining Light by Bettina Gappa. I am, let's see, I'm 68 pages of the way through now, and then part 2 starts around page 100. So I definitely want to get there by this evening. So that's kind of where I'm at. My cat just arrived. He's over there. Hi, Morrison. He's had a rough day today because someone's lawn people nearby were here, and he is very afraid of lawn mowers and stuff. So he had to hide in a little fort on the couch that we make him sometimes. Yeah, so that's fun, and I will check in with you in a little bit. I think I'm also gonna do some B-roll of the apple cider donuts. I'm catching up on booktube videos while I do this, but I also wanted to show you my adorable measuring cup set, which is, oh sorry, those are terrible noise. They're chickens. So here we have Big Mama Chicken, which is a 2/3 cup and a I think it's a 3/4 cup. Yeah, it's a 3/4 cup because there's 8 of them, so they had to pick some weird measurements. And then we have the egg, which is super cute, but very impossible to get these little ridges clean, unfortunately. So when I had this in college and I didn't have access to a dishwasher, I basically never used these ones because they're impossible to clean just with a regular, you know, manual labor in the sink. So then this one's 1/2 and a 2/3. They're a little dirty. And then you have the little baby chick, which is just so cute. And then she or he is a 1/4 and a 1/3. So yeah, I just thought I would show those to you because they're found and cute. Now back to the sped up version.
So that inside to me.
I'm watching Courtney's October 9th, I believe. Friday reads, right? Yeah. Friday reads from October 9th, and she just read a quote from beginning of James Baldwin's America, and it's Urgent Lessons for Our Own by Eddie S. Cloud, I believe is how you say his name. And wow, that was deep. Basically just about like how Trump is emblematic of a much larger issue in America in terms of racism. Like, Trump is not the problem, it's like an ideology that's the problem, which is true. Hey everyone, it is Wednesday afternoon and I got back late last night after our lovely hike, which you just saw some B-roll from. We went 5 miles in Cloudland Canyon State Park, which is a state park in the very northwestern corner of Georgia. Would highly recommend. There was not as much fall colors as we were hoping, but it was still a lovely time and we definitely want to go back in the near future. But I just wanted to close out this vlog since I am editing it and going to be uploading it later this evening. So this is me closing out the vlog. I guess to sum up everything I've read this weekend, I finished 3 books actually. So I finished the first, which was Save the World Behind by Rehman Alam, which I gave 4 stars, and I finished that one on Saturday. Then we have The Fragile Earth, which is edited by David Remnick and Henry Finder, which I finished on Sunday. And then last but not least, we have Taurus by Carolina de Robertis, which I read, as you saw, in a physical copy, but I don't have the book with me right at this moment in time. Then as for the other books that I was reading this weekend, I read about, let's see, I read 2 about page 100 in Out of Darkness, Shining Light by Bettina Gappa, and then I also read over the course of this weekend about 30-ish% of Brave New Home, Our Future in Smarter, Simpler, and Happier, I think, housing by Diana Lind, which I'm actually about to go to a little virtual event with her, so that'll be fun. And then I'm also 20% into The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Polk, which is fine. I'm not really loving that one as much, definitely not as much as Brave New Home, but also just not really loving it in general. And I don't think I even talked about those ones at all, but I did pick them up at some point over this weekend. So yeah, that's kind of everything. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you are new to my channel through this video, I'd love to have you stick around and subscribe. Additionally, I hope you're having a great rest of your day whenever you're watching this, and I will talk to you next time.